Hello and welcome to EcoGrip Flooring. This installation training presentation is designed to educate and teach all levels of flooring installation personnel the details of installing EcoGrip flooring. In this video, you'll learn everything from proper tools and safety tips to handling your final installation checklist. We sincerely appreciate your interest in EcoGrip and hope you'll find this training both informative and educational. It's important to be sure that your substrate is properly prepared for the EcoGrip installation. One very handy tool for this is a 7-inch grinder with vacuum attachment. This will rough up the surface and pull up any loose debris that will be vacuumed up and stay out of your way. It's important to note that just a mild abrasion on the surface of the substrate is all that's needed for a good mechanical bond with the epoxy adhesive in the EcoGrip flooring. Be sure to vacuum up all loose debris following your scarification process. Next, we'll demonstrate routing the backside of the sheet to achieve your cove base. We'll flip the sheet over to its backside, and you'll need a standard plunge router equipped with a 1/2-inch standard wood bit set to 1/8 of an inch to achieve the relief route needed for the cove. One handy way to achieve this process is to, using a straight edge, apply weight using your knees to the straight edge to hold it in place, therefore keeping the router straight, easy, efficient, and fast. It's important to be sure you get a full route, which sometimes requires several passes of the router. You'll use the same process when routing inside and outside corners. Be sure to stick with the 1/2-inch spec on the router bit. 1/4 inch would make the cove too small, and a 3/4 inch bit tends to make the cove too gentle. Most health departments are very comfortable with the cove profile that's achieved with the 1/2-inch plunge router bit. It's a good idea to have one crew member focused on routing base while the other crew members are prepping the substrate and preparing other parts of the job. Here we see the detail for an inside corner. Be sure to observe and follow all safety instructions and guidelines when using installation tools, epoxy adhesive, and SpeedFlex liquid weld. Here the installers put weight on the edges of the sheet to be sure that the base is properly curved and will cove as designed. As you stage your sheets into position, you want to carry them into the work area and begin your layout of the floor itself. As the sheet is put into place, you'll see that the two edges of the inside corner meet. You will use your hook blade knife to cut closely around all door jambs. These areas will later be sealed using the SpeedFlex liquid weld system. Inside, outside, and box corners are all installed using this same process. You may find it necessary to shake, manipulate your sheets into position for as tight a fit as possible. Here we use a straight blade to cut the excess sheet directly adjacent to the partition. Here we've routed just a partial in front of the mop sink with the base. There will be an additional routed sheet necessary to complete this section. Many of the skills used for EcoGrip installation are very similar to skills you may have learned installing commercial sheet vinyl roll goods. Primary difference is the thickness of the product being a full 1/4 inch. Even though the floor has already been vacuumed, it's always a good idea to re-vacuum prior to cutting in your EcoGrip sheet. Here we will create another inside corner with routed base. When cutting out the remaining inside corner square, be sure to cut directly next to the square. When facing a penetration in the floor, you'll take your hook knife and gently cut around the penetration and later seal the SpeedFlex liquid weld system. Common penetrations are chase lines, water lines, and gas lines found in commercial kitchens. You'll want to cut around the penetrations as closely as possible. Occasionally it is necessary to trim a pre-cut sheet, as walls are sometimes crooked and there can be other variances on job sites. Excess base material is easily trimmed after the cut-in process. You'll want to position your new sheet directly overlapping your existing sheet so that as you complete your cut-in, both sheets will marry together perfectly. Complete the cut with your hook blade. Drains are pre-marked and then cut out after the flooring is laid in place. Using the hook blade knife in a spiral motion works very, very well for drain detail. Here we have a 4-inch brass circular drain lid that will be outfitted with a 16-gauge stainless steel drain collar anchored into the concrete with lead anchors affixed with stainless steel screws. Square drains and floor sinks are cut in exactly the same way. Floor sinks can be detailed out using stainless steel collars, or in cases where the concrete is level and in good condition, the SpeedFlex liquid weld collar can be used. Here we're using the square stainless steel flange. Trench or linear drains are detailed out just as we detail circular or square drains. It's important to cut inward as you cut drain details so that any mistakes can be corrected. Stainless steel drain detail will be routed into the material, the thickness of the detail itself normally 1/16 of an inch, and affixed with a bead of the 6100 sealant underneath the stainless. This linear drain will be detailed using 16-gauge stainless steel, screwed and anchored into the concrete. We'll use our plunge router to route down the width of the drain detail itself, approximately 1/16 of an inch, or the thickness of the stainless steel. This will provide a flush appearance and feel from the flooring to the stainless drain detail to the grate of the drain itself. Drains are the most common point of failure on any floor. It's very important to take extra precautions during your drain detail installation process. It's important to cut and remove the FRP divider strips prior to spreading the epoxy mastic. Divider strips will cause the base cap to bulge out and can cause leaks. These can easily be cut using your straight blade. and then removed. This will allow your base to fit flush against the wall and prevent any potential leaks. It's a good idea to vacuum the floor again prior to spreading adhesive and prior to the SpeedFlex liquid weld application. Prior to gluing the floor into place, you will fold sheets back about 50%, and you'll use a 3/32 inch notched trowel to spread your two-part epoxy mastic. Be sure to vacuum once again prior to spreading your epoxy mastic. It's a good idea to clean the back side of the sheet using acetone and a clean cotton cloth, again to be sure that all of your dust and debris is removed and you get a maximum adhesive bond between the substrate and the back of your sheet. You'll use the Eco-Grip two-part epoxy mastic to glue the floor into place. We'll pour the entire contents of one bucket into the next bucket. This is a two-part epoxy product which contains a resin and a hardener which are mixed together. You want to be sure that you've gotten all the mastic out of the part B so that you get a good, thorough, complete mix. You'll then use a standard adhesive mixing bit with mixing drill to thoroughly mix the adhesive together. Here we see our 3/32 inch notch trowel. Mastic is poured into place and spread evenly and thoroughly. The two-part epoxy mastic is used for the floor and for the walls where the base will be adhered. The EcoGrip 2-part epoxy adhesive is a maximum strength product designed for all of the conditions, undulations, dips, and slope that we see on job sites. You will then gently fold your EcoGrip sheets into the wet epoxy mastic. Note that the epoxy mastic does not require any setup time prior to laying sheets into it. It is a wet lay adhesive product. You'll walk the sheets into place, making sure all the seams are flush and all the sheets are well adhered. You'll then roll the floor using a 100-pound roller to remove any excess air trapped under the sheets and to be sure to get a complete transfer of adhesive between the substrate and the back of your sheets. Take extra care to roll directly adjacent to linear drains and other fixtures. Pneumatic nailers can be used to adhere the base to the wall as the epoxy adhesive cures. Box corners and partitions will be installed using the same process. You will then hand route your vertical seams in preparation for the SpeedFlex liquid weld system. We will be utilizing a power groover for all of the horizontal seams on the floor. The power groover is equipped with a 6mm bit and is used to create the groove between sheets for the SpeedFlex liquid weld system. A vacuum attachment can be connected directly to your groover instead of having to use the catch bag, which will have to be changed. There's several good floor grooving machines on the market. The one pictured here is made by Leicester. The SpeedFlex perforated tape is then put into place directly over the grooved seam. Once the tape is in place, the center perforation is gently removed, exposing the groove to receive the SpeedFlex weld, but preventing the SpeedFlex material from getting on the face of the sheets. The SpeedFlex liquid weld material is a two-part MMA system that is color matched to precisely match the color of the sheets you are installing. You will first ensure flow from both sides of the cartridge prior to installing your static mixer tip. You'll then install your static mixer tip and install your cartridge into your applicator. Pictured is an 18-volt battery-powered applicator. Apply a small amount of material onto a scrap sheet to ensure good consistent flow and a good color match. When applying the SpeedFlex liquid weld material, you'll hold your applicator at about a 70-degree angle to ensure flow of material all the way to the bottom of the seam. It's important to fill the entire groove with the SpeedFlex liquid weld. Use acetone with a clean cotton cloth to remove any excess SpeedFlex from the face of the flooring immediately, as once cured, SpeedFlex is impossible to remove. The applicator can be used both standing or on your knees. Here we're using a metal spreading tool. It's to gently spread the surface of the SpeedFlex material, smoothing into the groove. Every cartridge of SpeedFlex also comes with a plastic disposable spreading tool. Occasionally you'll need to add a small amount of material to complete a seam. You'll have about a 4-minute work time with this product. It's very important to have the product applied, smoothed, and the tape removed inside of this 4-minute work time window. You'll want to have a gentle pressure with your smoothing tool such that you fill the groove completely, but you don't press harder than necessary. Be sure to keep the SpeedFlex weld material off of the face of the product, as it is a permanent material and cannot be removed once cured. The average time for a complete cure of SpeedFlex is about 22 minutes. When applying stainless strain detail, use the collar itself to mark the perimeter of the stainless collar. You'll then use your plunge router set to 1/16 of an inch or the thickness of the stainless steel to remove the surface area such that the stainless steel collar will fit flush with the flooring and the drain lid. Vacuum out any additional residue. Here we've used a hammer drill to prepare the holes for the lead anchors. Which will hold the stainless steel screws in place that adhere our stainless steel drain collar. A bead of the E6100 sealant goes under the collar in all applications. We then affix our stainless screws and the collar installation is complete. When applying SpeedFlex liquid weld to vertical seams, you'll use a painter's blue tape on each side of the groove again to keep the material off of the face of the EcoGrip flooring. Here we are creating a groove for a speed-flexed outside corner. The same vertical tape process is used here. Trim your flooring at all termination points to prepare for the installation of the stainless steel termination strip. The SpeedFlex radius tool comes in very handy for inside corners in areas where flat base is necessary. The smoothing process for vertical seams is exactly the same as your horizontal floor seams. Again, your work time is about 4 minutes, so you'll want to apply your SpeedFlex material, smooth, and remove the tape as soon as possible. Here again we see the radius tool for the inside corner detail. Here we see the radius tool both for the vertical inside corner and the small section of horizontal flat base. The SpeedFlex liquid weld here will create the cove between the floor and this small section of base. polyvinyl base cap is designed to be cut and manipulated to match inside and outside corner detail. Be sure FRP corner strips or any additional FRP mastic is removed such that the base cap fits flush and tight to the wall. Base cap will be glued using the 6100 sealant applied to the top of the base. The base cap is finally secured using a self-tapping stainless steel screw placed every 8 inches. You can expect a spread rate of the 6100 adhesive to be about 25 linear feet per 10.3 ounce cartridge. When installing your threshold or termination strip, you'll use an electric bandsaw to field cut the length needed, your hammer drill to drill holes for your lead anchors, and the same lead anchor screw combination used for the stainless steel drain detail. Sure to vacuum up concrete debris so that it doesn't get trapped underneath your threshold. Here we're providing a small countersink to the opening. prior to installing our lead anchors. Anchors are gently tapped into place using a standard claw hammer. Again, a bead of your 6100 sealant underneath, all stainless steel, including threshold termination. Now you're ready to install your stainless steel screws, which will adhere your threshold into place. It's important to note the 6100 sealant is indeed a very strong mastic as well, that fills any air cavities and serves to further hold all stainless steel fixtures in place. Thank you for participating in the EcoGrip flooring installation presentation today. We hope you found this informative, but if you have any additional questions, call us at 800-767-5754. Our technical services department will be happy to answer any and all questions you may have. Thanks again.